Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Camp Patton Family Compound. And it's Monday night fireside chat time, and tonight's topic is canning potatoes. And with me here is Tammy at Rebel Canners with her it's not black, is it? It's more charcoal, isn't it?
It's charcoal. It's a dark gray.
Yeah, her charcoal beauty from American Canner. That was from last year, wasn't it?
Yes, from the summit.
Last year at the food summit there in Ohio, where she's going to be in 2 weeks.
1 week. 1 week.
1 week. 1 week. That's right. Next week. Next
19th and 20th, Wednesday and Thursday.
Wednesday and Thursday. So if you're in Ohio near, what's the city?
Millersburg, Ohio.
Millersburg, Ohio. Head on down there. It's worth the price of admission. There's a whole bunch of speakers and stuff going on. And if you go to the Rebel Canners Facebook page, and then you go over onto the right side, I'm trying to remember there's one thing we can search back for saved posts. It's in there. It's about like eighth one down now, but it's in there. Post all the information about it.
I have a bunch of stuff they just sent me today. I've got to get posted up there.
Cool.
So I'll be posting more stuff, and I've got some specials. They're offerings. So
I have to apologize to everybody. I didn't get what I wanted to get done for this today. But most of the stuff's off the top of my head, and it's going to be off the top of your head too. Everybody's side chat. So what I was going to do is, all right. So those that don't know, several things. First of all, those that don't know, Tammy was gifted how many pounds of potatoes?
Well,
by a lifetime's worth.
I canned what I figure was 300 pounds of potatoes. I ate 100 pounds of potatoes, and I'm ashamed to say that I probably wasted 100 pounds of potatoes that I could not get canned or eat in time.
Well, of course, you know what Howie would have done? He would have just tossed it all out in the yard and let them come up.
Well, I did some of the ones I shouldn't say I wasted them, because I did give some of them away, and I thought I was going to get some canned, and that's why they went to waste, is because I thought I would get more canned, and I pooped out after 300
pounds of potatoes canned is a lot of quarts and pints of canned potatoes.
You know the biggest totes they make at Walmart?
The blue ones or the
blue ones?
The blue ones. Okay, yeah. The one has the wheels on the one end that when you load it up, you can't move.
They're like 4 foot long and 2.5 feet wide and 3 feet deep. I had 6 of those full of potatoes. Okay, that's to give you a spatial configuration. That's a lot of jars of potatoes.
Yeah.
People are like, why don't you dry can? Why don't you show us how to dry can potatoes? I'm like, I never want to can potatoes again in my life. I don't have to.
Well, one of the things I was going to do for this was I started making a list in my mind, and I was going to add it to the slideshow. But as far as I got on the slideshow, though, was just the title page and the next page, and that was it.
Oops.
And talk about all the different things you can use canned potatoes for. And of course, the first thing that should pop into everybody's mind is soup.
Yep. And I did can a lot of what I call potato soup starter. It's everything but the milk. I canned the potatoes in chicken broth with all of the spices. I put in my soup. And so all I had to do was open the jar and mash the potatoes and add cream. And it was potato soup and cheese. Oh, I gotta add cheese. But
I like putting a little a stick of butter into my potato soup.
Ooh, yes.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if you add real heavy cream, you don't need the stick of butter. It's really just in there, not blended. It's a lot alike.
Yeah. And one of the other things I came up with was, so soup, mashed potatoes, potato pancakes.
Mm-hmm.
And then of course is the one that was recommended. Who recommended it? Come on, for you to do with it like Joe does for his pierogies.
Kaylin is a genius. She said to take the canned potatoes, mash them up, and use them for pierogi filling. That was Kaylin's strain, and that was
all right.
I'm going to use quite a few that way. I never thought about doing it that way.
Okay, I forgot to go through the thing. I see a bunch of comments in here I need to address. So first one in was Mark at Chef Tech, and yes, I emailed it to you. Second was Troop 1351, and then Walt Rogers came in saying third and lurking in the stables. King Poobah, that's
Dustin.
And I shared a really cute video with Justin today. I'm going to share it with you guys. Just tell you about it. It was on one of the reels on Facebook, and you see this little. It looks like a toy truck. Well, it's a large toy truck, and it's remote control. And then it backed out, and there's about 40 of these. And all these guys standing around, and they have a construction site set up indoors. Dirt and everything, and they got trucks loading it. They got loaders loading trucks, trucks dumping, trucks moving stuff around, low beds moving excavators around. It's just like, and Justin noticed, hey, there's no kids there. I go, yeah, they're big kids there.
Yeah, I can't wait. I get to see Dustin and Courtney. Wide Family Farm is coming with me to the summit, and so I cannot wait to actually get to see them in person. Because they are just as amazing in person as they are on YouTube.
Yeah, that's one of the other reasons I wanted to go, but things are just kind of for me here right now.
It's also a little bit of a hike from where you live.
Yeah, If I could have found that winning lottery ticket earlier this year, it would have been me and the staff sergeant coming out.
I want to meet her, so you've got to bring her.
Yeah. Once she retires, we are going to make a trip back there to the Mitten and to Ohio, and we're going to stop and see you. We're going to stop and see Nash, Bill Nash, and I'll probably stop and see Bill Nash on the way back. So we'll rent a little U-Haul trailer and load it up with trees.
Oh, he's not far from me. He is not that far from me. Dr. Paula and I are talking about. She comes up this way, so I'm hoping that she will meet up with me. We've talked about it. We just haven't got it set in stone.
Yeah. All right. Next one in was Geeky Gardens from Florida, and then coming in on one of the here's Mark coming in.
It was in my spam box. Go figure.
Yeah.
And
so
we're
coming
doing
in
potatoes.
on your
spam.
Yeah. So coming in on your side, Tammy, is Susan Williams.
Hello.
I went over there.
And then we got Kaylin Strain in. And then Ryan the Gamer is here. Ryan is a real cool dude. He's been posting a lot of stuff finally again on Facebook. Really guy with a slight disability, but hey, he's a cool dude. Very patriotic dude. Let's see. Mother Earth Garden Club is here. Also coming in on your side is Canadian Navy wife.
Oh, hi.
Hugs from Esquimalt. There it is. You guys can figure out how to pronounce that. Lewis is here. It's the Marshmallow Man. Coming in your side is Glenn from How to Garden.
Hello.
And Mark came in, is doing your Mad Chick on your side, Chef Tech on my side. Let's see. Also have coming in on your side, the Ecocentric Homestead.
Hi.
And let's see who else we got coming on down here. All right. And of course, Jack said hash browns for the potatoes.
We did a lot of those fresh.
Oh, my son used to love getting the big box of the Idahoan hash brown potatoes. You pour the hot water and you let it sit for an hour and you help fry it up. Then we got a bunch of my wife picked up a bunch of not Yukon Golds. I forget what type of potatoes. And they were sitting on the floor and she goes, "We got to use these, otherwise they're gonna, sprout or rot." And so she made homemade hash browns. He hates the box of Idahoan now. He's become a snob of hash browns.
Hey, Mark, those potatoes freeze dry real well into hash browns, don't they?
Yeah. Oh, more fireworks. More graduations next door. My dog's gonna bark.
Oh, I thought that was the steak sizzling for a minute again. I'm like,
no, I'm done out there.
time?
I'm home now. I had to go to work today.
Yeah.
Okay. Side note. Sorry, I'm going to take it totally off. I saw a recipe this morning. I made Thanksgiving dinner. It was turkey slices from the deli, but we cut them 1/2 inch thick. Filled them with stuffing, rolled them up so they're like the turkey rolls you used to get at like a banquet. Covered them with gravy and baked them just till everything bubbled. My son's like, "Can I have this for my birthday in August?" I'm like, yes, you can, because it was a $10 meal. And then my son goes, "And can I have it for Thanksgiving Day?" And I'm like, well, maybe this year. I don't know if we'll do a whole turkey for just the two of us. But it was I had him cut it thick. It was so good. Okay, you can go on. CR, if you're here, I'm sorry.
No, I don't see CR in here yet. What else you got here?
He knows better now. You got to do Thanksgiving egg rolls. Turkey, a little bit of stuffing, a little bit of mashed potatoes, a couple peas, a couple corn, a little bit of corn, and a little bit of, you serve it with gravy, but you roll them up in egg roll wrappers, deep fry them, and then serve them with gravy.
I have to make my egg rolls. That's what I have to. I have to make a thing. I have been requested to make my egg rolls, which is difficult to do because I make 144, I believe it is, at a time.
Go big or go home. It's not worth it doing 10.
I make the filling in a 5-gallon bucket.
That's my wife made a filling basically for dumplings. I'm like, oh my God, it's egg roll filling. It had the pork in it and the cabbage and everything else. I was like, she modified. I was like, this is phenomenal. I must have made like 100 dumplings at the little dumpling press. That just annoyed me. I'm like, we got to do this again. I'm making egg rolls, and because it's egg roll filling, and it was really good. I'm like, we got to do this.
Okay, so Kaylin said about making the potato ganoche, not nochi, not how you pronounce it.
I can't. Nochi. I think it's nochi. I think the G is silent, but I'm not Italian.
I wasn't sure if it was nachi. The first C was a hard C or not.
It's gnocchi. Say gnocchi.
Gnocchi. Okay.
Oh, we should ask the chef. Hey, how do you pronounce this weird Italian word?
Potato gnocchis.
And then, of course, last night Kaylin went live on her channel for 2 hours with her MRE opening, heating, and review. So
I didn't know that.
And CR was in there. CR is in there too.
Drooling.
And okay, next time warn to eat before you come. And that's the way it's going to be on Mondays here for quite a while. We're going to be talking food, and it's Camp Pet and Family Compound is my homesteading channel, and homesteaders eat.
Yes,
they eat healthy food. So
and homesteaders can, and they preserve things, and
So all right. One of the things that led to me screwing everything up and not getting all the different things of recipes you can do with potatoes. If you were watching my Gray Man Prepping channel Saturday for the Prepper Garden, which is actually doing absolutely phenomenal on YouTube right now, because it was so good. Everybody's sharing it.
Mhm.
I talked about on there how I had ordered a tree from Stark Brothers in Louisiana. It came, that bare root tree was butchered. They had chopped the roots way back. The longest root, other than a little hairline string of roots, was the size of my little finger. It was about that thick, and it was 3 3/4 inches long, and the other one was 3.5 inches long. Those are the two big roots, and that's all that was on it. They weren't, like that or like they should have been. And someone had cut all the buds off the ends of the little starting branches. Now I contacted them, sent them a bunch of pictures, back and forth. They said, okay, all right, yeah, okay, you're right. They said, oh, we're going to send you another one. I said, I'd rather have, as soon as they sent me that one, within 5 minutes, I responded back, I would rather have a refund. I don't want to deal with this. And they go, oh, we already sent it. Well, Saturday it showed up, and I got the delivery guy out. They go, we're refusing delivery on this. They were supposed to refund me, not send me another one. He goes, no problem. He took it back in the truck. Well, I don't know if it's him or a different one. It was him. We talked for a bit about why I was sending it back. So he would have known. I think it was a different FedEx driver this time. The guy snuck across my lawn, laid it by my front porch, and didn't follow the signs that are posted where to deliver to the back, where I got a big table set up for them to deliver to. So I got another Bartlett pear. So I'm going to try to see if I can save this one or not and see what happens.
Hey, Tammy, I have to backtrack on the conversation here for a second. My wife walked into me talking about the pierogies. Do you have a dough recipe for pierogies and a filling recipe?
I don't. Not yet.
Oh, okay.
But I'm going to have to make one because Caitlin I love pierogies, and I'll be honest, I usually buy them. I do have a friend who makes them, so I may try to get a hold of her mother's recipe.
I'll be right back.
That works.
But,
if you can get a recipe, email it to me.
I will. I don't know, with my change of Facebook accounts, I don't know if that friend and I are still friends. Because I don't know that she came over to my new Facebook when I dropped my phone. So I will see. I lost a lot of friends that way.
You dropped your phone and you have no friends.
During the Red Dragon, I dropped my phone. So, of course, the phone place could not transfer any of my contacts because
you didn't have an iPhone, so it wasn't backed up.
I did have an iPhone, and it was backed up, but the tech guy could not help me with anything because he couldn't touch my phone.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay, back to the conversation.
So on your phone, did you get to keep the old phone?
Oh, yes, I definitely kept the old phone. I have my last two phones before this one.
Yeah.
It just doesn't have a screen. It'll be like $100 to get the screen fixed, and I don't have the money to do that.
Okay, I missed that part.
Yeah, I have other things. So they're in there and just isn't usable right now.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Got
All right. Sorry, Louis.
Okay, let's go scroll back up here. Okay, so Dustin said Court made parsley. Oh yes, parsley potatoes. Yes.
Yes.
My wife does that too, and when she canned them. My wife doesn't can them; she just makes them and they're gone before the boys just start digging in. Seconds, thirds, yeah.
Oh, the little ones with butter and parsley are so good.
Yeah.
Here we go, Mark. I have a great egg noodle recipe.
Yeah.
Okay, I figured it had to be something similar to like pasta.
Yeah.
Egg noodle, something, yeah.
Oh.
And Dustin says the same thing, so.
They use egg noodle. Okay. I have my great-great-grandmother's egg noodle recipe.
Ooh.
I probably have it in the Good Housekeeping cookbook from my mom from 1939. It's probably in there. Pierogi dough's probably in there.
Mine's from more like 1900.
Yeah, I get it.
Well, let's see.
She was Pennsylvania Dutch, straight from Pennsylvania.
Well, that works.
She didn't start speaking English from until 1930. When was World War One? 1919.
Well,
Sorry.
we got in there about 1917.
Okay, she didn't speak a lick of English until 1917, when suddenly that's all she spoke.
It's amazing how people are stubborn and in the old ways, but it's like,
she was full Amish, and she still wore the whole black from head to toe, and so she still spoke German. But when they moved from Pennsylvania to Michigan, there wasn't a church here for them. Right. And so they converted their religion, but she still wore the black from head to toe, and she still spoke German and nothing else. And then suddenly in 1917, she spoke English.
Yeah. Vodka. All right. Let's see. Okay. Kaylin said, okay. All right. Yeah. 1917.
Yeah, I didn't speak English until 1970, but
Yeah, I didn't speak English till about 1958 and a half, maybe. About a year and a half. Yeah, it's about 1959 in the spring. So one of the things I was thinking about to do with those canned potatoes kind of involves Mark, and that's to basically, and I'm not sure if this will work or not. You go ahead and you make your mashed potatoes without the cream in it. You just mash and get it ready, and then you freeze dry it.
Oh no! I told you I made mashed potatoes the way I make mashed potatoes and freeze dried it. There's sour cream, butter, milk, cheddar cheese, cooked bacon bits, like real bacon bits, salt, pepper. When I do fresh mashed potatoes, I'll peel probably. I mean, I'll do 10 pounds of potatoes, maybe more, but I'll peel probably 2 heads of garlic, and you don't chop them up, just throw them in whole, and they just boil and they soften, and you just mash it in there, and oh my Lord. We've been doing that. My wife taught me that way back when. I never thought of it. We do that. Everybody that has our potatoes is like, these are so good. You tell them there's whole garlic in there, they freak out. They're like, I don't taste it. I'm like, well, you do, but you don't, because it doesn't taste bitter. And but no, I freeze dry it. My load of potatoes, I have them freeze dried, ready to go. I just add hot water to it and let them go. It'll rehydrate. So the fat content's probably about total, maybe 5 to 10%. But that's not enough to kill it, as long as you're absolutely sure all the water's out, you got all the air out, and I got the chamber sealer, so I got all the air out and an oxygen absorber in there, and I check them from time to time. So, and I got a bunch out at the cabin, which I forgot I had the other night, and I brought baked potatoes instead until I looked at my inventory and went, crap, I already have all this stuff out here. I should have just heated one of those up, but they're ready for the apocalypse for a Thanksgiving dinner,
And for if we can ever get Mark to start posting his videos and stuff, all his videos are on my channel or Tammy's channel.
Right now, yes, they are.
But Saturday on Gray Man Prepping, he was out there at his cabin and he was cooking. Every night he would tease us all and switch his from his
my front view to the back
from
view,
the raccoon.
Yeah, from his raccoon to his to what he was cooking there and everything with the porterhouse steak and everything else. It's like and
then
making CR angry.
He kept turning on his volume, so I had to hear the sizzling and make torture. You were torturing me, and I just
we don't have smell-o-vision yet, but it's coming.
Yeah. Okay. Checked off as a question: how late can you keep potatoes in the ground? Well, I know from my wife's experience, when she always misses getting potatoes out of the ground, next year she has all these volunteers, and that's in zone I looked it up the other day. What I think zone
9?
9. Yeah, zone 9 for the San Francisco Bay Area. Martha, old school prepper, does the same thing. She thinks she gets them all out, and the next spring, boom, potatoes everywhere.
I got one plant coming up between my tomato plants. I'm like, yep, I'll leave you alone. You're not in the way of my tomatoes. Not going to affect the root systems. I'll see. And I don't know which potato it is. I had like 8 different potatoes over the last 2 years out there. Don't know which one. Don't care. When they leaves fall over, I'll dig them up and be like, hey, taters.
Yeah. As far as when you have to harvest them, if you want to harvest them,
that's when the leaves are dead. When all the leaves in the plants have died, then you can start. You need to start getting them out of the ground, especially if there's somewhere where there's a hard freeze. So as soon as all the leaves
and a lot of rain, you get too much rain, and then you're done.
So as soon as the leaves die off, or the tops of the plants start to die back.
Yeah, I noticed that when out here with the fields out here, they rotate crops: potatoes, alfalfa, sugar beets, and so I noticed that when it's that time, you can just see the tops of the leaves starting to wilt over and starting to go down. And the next thing you know, here's the harvester going through, just picking up all the potatoes.
And see if you can find somebody that owns that field and ask them after the harvester has left the field, if you can go through the field, you too could have 300 to 500 pounds of potatoes in your basement.
So easy if they'll let you on the field. Knock yourself out. We got what we want. If there's any more out there, take them. Some of them are probably whacked in half, big holes in them.
What's weird is though, when they go through and they harvest, as they go through, they're not even halfway done with the field, and another tractor's come in with this massive disc and bottom plow, and they're turning it all up and over.
Yeah. You have to get in between the first. You have to follow the first truck and get out before the second one.
Yeah, you can do your fertilizer.
Oh, yeah. And Lee is here.
I have a friend who tells me when they're done in a field, and then I can go get them. But
yeah,
Grandma Brownie.
Canadian Navy wife says, I grow mine in plastic bags at the soil. Like Joe does the lettuce in the topsoil bags and stuff.
Yep.
And
okay.
Yeah.
Go back to that statement for just a second about the grow bags. Okay. Here is something you need to understand about potatoes. If you grow them in rich soil, all you're going to get is leaves. You need to grow potatoes in sand with a little bit of that potting soil mixed in, because you're not going to get as good a harvest as if you had poor soil. Yeah. I know it makes no sense, but believe me, potatoes in rich soil grow leaves and no potatoes.
And if you're going to use a fertilizer on it, I'm looking it up here. Give me a second.
Yeah, I'm not recommending that.
I don't use fertilizer. There's no need.
Specific fertilizer. Search orders. Where is it? No, it's not that 2020. It's not that one. There it is. All right. So you look at so nitrogen is only 4. And then your phosphate is 18 and your potash is 38.
Okay.
That will help. That would help potatoes because it's very low in the nitrogen, which goes to the leaves and stuff. So
yeah, potatoes are weird. They're the one thing, like if you have sandy loam, that's much better than actual black dirt potting soil for potatoes.
All right, Caitlin has a question, and of course she's on her phone, so I am curious how purple potatoes would do here, and she's in Des Moines.
You should be able to, if you can grow regular potatoes, you should be able to grow the purple ones. There's not a potato that as far as I know that it's better for one growing area than another. They're
I've grown fingerlings. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I don't really have
Yeah.
sandy loam. I mean,
I've
they're
seen
my raised beds.
I've seen people growing the purple ones in Alaska.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you should be fine.
And that's the other thing too that I had thought about, didn't get a chance to work done because I was running around like a chicken with my head cut off today with all the stuff going on. And I didn't even have grandkids here either.
And I forgot it was Monday until like 15 minutes before the live.
In canning, you can can all the other potatoes too. The purple, the red, the pink, the yellow, the blue. The potatoes come in a rainbow of colors.
Yes. Yeah.
Just certain potatoes like the reds, all the fingerlings, and a lot of the hybrid super bright colors. They're harder potatoes. They take longer to cook. Canning doesn't matter. They're going to be cooked, period.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're just doing like home fries or potato salad or something like that with your taters, yeah, the red ones, and you'll know because don't cook the red ones and the white ones together. The white ones will turn to just paste, and the red ones are still firm. Not the red ones, but the purple ones that are purple flesh. They'll still be firm. So you got to cook them separate.
And Happy Mac is here on your side.
Hey.
So far, I haven't seen any comments. If I haven't noticed them from Facebook, from either of our sides on Facebook. So,
and the other thing about potatoes, sorry, Gil, those Idaho potatoes, those baking potatoes are higher in starch, and a lot of times on my channel, I will get a lot of comments about what is that slimy stuff in the bottom of my canning jar. That is potato starch. Don't throw that out.
Nope. It's great thickener.
That is precious stuff. Mark can tell you all the wonderful things you can use that for, but just take your potatoes out, rinse them off, and use them like you would. But that potato starch, I use it to thicken soups. But a lot of people think that there's something wrong. And why did I get it this time? But last time I didn't get that in the bottom of my jar. It just goes on how much starch is in your potatoes.
I don't judge anyone for the type of potatoes they like. If you like potatoes, you're good with me. And if you like bacon in your potatoes, you're even better.
I'm Scottish. I like all of them, but Russ's aren't my favorites.
Yeah. I just lost this. Dave, begins with a K. His last name. Captain Bacon. Or Commander Bacon.
Oh, yes. Commander Bacon.
Commander Bacon. There was some. I didn't see him posted on his yet, but somebody posted a reel of a breadless bacon sandwich.
Oh yeah, I've seen that.
You got bacon with bacon. Yeah,
it's like woven bacon with the lettuce, tomato, and mayonnaise inside, and another piece of woven bacon on top. It's a bacon burrito. It's for the gluten-free people, you gotta give them something.
I like it.
Got a good question here. Aren't russets better for baking and wax ones for salads and soups?
Yes, definitely.
That's why red potato salad tastes so good. They're a little waxier.
Yes.
Yeah, all right. So what was the variety of that 300 pounds of potatoes you got?
Russets.
It was just a plain old white potato. I wished it was red, but it was a plain old white. And it wasn't a russet. It was just a plain old white potato.
Okay.
Michigan grown. I don't know.
Have you canned Yukon Golds before?
Yes. And they stay yellow, which is pretty in the jar.
Yeah, but do the kids eat it anymore? No.
My kids will not eat potatoes. I told you, my kids really will not eat potatoes. They really were like, Mom, we've had them for breakfast, lunch, and dinner for 3 weeks now, and we would really like something else. I'm like, I'm not making you eat them. I'm just making them for you.
So take some of your potatoes. A new tip for you. Take some of your potatoes, open a jar, drain them out, do what you do, mash them up, add some cheese and stuff to it. Put it in a pastry bag with a big tube tip on it.
Oh, I've
pipe
done
them
that.
out in little 3-inch strips and bake them in the oven. So you got these little like French fries, but they're not French fries, but the cheese is in there and stuff.
Ooh.
Don't forget the garlic
And garlic.
and the really, really crumbled fine bacon.
Oh.
Well, you mix that with your sour cream and give it as a dip.
Nah, I don't like sour cream, so I gotta have it in. I gotta have it in that
I don't
baked
care
French
what you
fry.
like. I'm talking to Tammy, not you. Shut up.
My kids would actually like that sour cream dip with bacon. I think
I make
would
sour
like
cream. I make sour cream with salsa and use that for a burrito dip.
Ooh.
Sometimes I just eat sour cream.
They're coming to arrest me, Chekhov, because the last time I had potatoes was about 2-3 weeks ago, and the time before that was 2 months before that, and that was to make mashed potatoes.
See, growing up, we would have boiled potatoes for dinner, and then my mother would take the extra boiled potatoes and slice them up, and we'd have fried potatoes for breakfast.
Yeah.
And then for lunch, if there was any boiled potatoes that were left, she would heat them up, mash them with a fork, cover them with butter, and we would have fork mashed potatoes for lunch.
Yeah.
So growing up, I actually had potatoes 3 times a day, like for my entire childhood. So I don't feel bad for my kids that they couldn't take 3 weeks of 3 times a day potatoes.
All right, for those that are on phones and really can't see it, here is Mark.
That's close. It's a canned vegetable or something. Couldn't find one with the whatever, the person in that
He kind of looks.
I should have sent you these Yukon Golds.
In the jar, Mark kind of looks like he's got a crown on, and he kind of looks like,
Yeah, it's King Arthur.
King Arthur, yeah.
It's King Arthur flour in a jar. Yeah, that's it. You can do that. You take a picture, print a picture. That's not mine. I just pulled that off the web. But you can take a picture, put it in a jar. It'll freak your kids out. Put it in a jar, fit it in there nice, just wrap it around, and then put it behind something on your canning shelf. So when they pull the jar of, peaches off or something, they see this thing, of course, they'll scream and drop the jar that was in their hand. But, sometimes put it in front of a jar of potatoes. Say, go grab me a jar of potatoes. They'll pull it out, scream, drop the jar. Well, hey, you're down one more jar of potatoes. You just don't have a jar anymore.
They will refuse to go get me a jar of potatoes if I ask for it. Absolutely. They're like, who's eating it? Because we're not. They will actually grill me and then refuse. No.
Yeah, I'm sending it to Mark. Don't worry about it. Just grab me a jar. Grab the one on the left-hand side in front.
I'm going to step that up a little bit. Use a half-gallon jar to put the photo of the head in. That way it's almost life-size.
Yeah, looks like a shrunken head. And you can get a picture of anything you want and stick it in there. Pickled heads,
Awesome for Halloween.
I'm gonna have to download a picture of Biden and do that.
No names.
That's my friend. I'm sorry, bidet. It's a bidet. A picture of a bidet. It's a toilet. With a bunch of crap in it that spews out.
Okay. All right. Okay. What else? I'm looking here at the sides. I want to get back to. All right, now.
Pickled Jesus.
Now, pepper.
That's funny.
I'm missing out because I can't see the
Mac. I don't think I'm going to put that one up there, Happy Mac. Everybody can look.
He said, pickled Jesus, I'm going to hell.
Oh. Oh, man. There's trying to think of all the of course all the different things you can do. Come on, think of the fajita bread. Make
flour tortillas?
Make it potato flour tortillas.
Yeah.
Not just tortillas, but the fajita bread. Mm-hmm. The thicker, heavy-duty fajita bread.
I guess you could dehydrate your canned potatoes, turn them into like a powder, or freeze dry them or something. Turn them into a powder, then add a little bit of water and something just to help it keep firm, and then maybe roll it out. I don't know.
A little bit of lard to make as a binding agent.
Oh yeah, Lord, yeah.
I do use my potato water to make jumpstart my yeast for my bread.
Yeah, that's a thing.
Yeah.
That is something I had not heard before. Using potato water for that. That is excellent idea.
When you go to the store, you'll see like they say potato bread. That is exactly what they've done. They've just used the starchy water to jumpstart the yeast.
You can almost make a potato sourdough starter.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I just got a message here. I'm looking at this message here. It says can't post comments from some directions. And so Facebook pages will post, Facebook profiles won't. Okay.
I posted it to my Facebook, but I don't know. It just does its own thing.
Every now and then Facebook changes everything on mine to private instead of public.
Oh.
So, yeah. It's like the saying, if coming shortly, all the social medias will be bought and grouped into one of them, and it'll be you instant twit face.
Run by Google.
Formerly known as X.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, no, because what's his name will buy it, so he doesn't own Google, but he owns the one already, so he's just going to buy all the rest of them. Yeah. All right, let's see here. Hang on here, I'm trying to the side chat. What are your best ways of storing potatoes, raw ones, so they keep longer before you have to can them?
One, keep them away from apples. When you're storing your produce, apples give off a gas that cause other fruits and vegetables to ripen and rot faster. So keep them away from apples. So if you have
store apples in another room.
Yep, apples and potatoes, different sides of the house. That's the number one mistake.
I've seen storing fresh potatoes, whole out of the ground, in a mixture of mostly straw and some sand, stacked up in the milk crate so they still breathe, because the sand will allow the air to flow through out of the light, keep the straw on top, and then just dig them out as you need them. You're always going to find one that, started softening up.
What you do is you get like a large tote, you put a layer of damp, not wet, lightly damp sand, a layer of straw, put your potatoes on that nice thick layer of straw, put a layer of straw over your potatoes, and more damp sand. That is like the old timers, like my grandpa used to do outside. They would dig a hole and pit their potatoes in a barrel with sand and straw. And the straw would insulate it, and they'd cover that barrel up with more straw, and then they'd cover it up mound it with dirt, and they'd go out there all year long and get their potatoes out of that, or a root cellar. Here in Michigan, we have a lot of potatoes are stored in climate controlled buildings. So if you have a second refrigerator, you could put them I don't know the exact temperature. I want to say it's like 52 degrees, which is slightly warmer than you keep your refrigerator, but cooler than you keep your house. And they store them, I think it's like 52 degrees, they store them year round. And so if you had a refrigerator, you could set to that kind of a temperature.
You still have to let them breathe a little bit, don't you? Because if you seal them up, they're gonna.
Oh yeah. You have to. You don't just leave the door shut forever, but you gotta get some air in there. You gotta open it periodically.
There's a whole science behind that, which I have no idea.
I'm just saying that would be the temperature if you had a way to store them at that temperature. Yeah, they do outgas, so you don't want to leave them where they can't outgas that thing. It's toxic. I can't think of what the gas is. They outgas. Trying to think. Other than pitting them or putting them, putting them indoors in damp sand in totes. That's about it. I mean, they'll keep a really long time if you can keep them away from apples. They'll keep a lot longer. So.
All right, let's see what else we got here. Denise is here. Woo-hoo. And let's see. Also wrapping paper.
Yeah, that's sort of like the tomatoes. If you wrap each one individually, it keeps them from rotting the one next to it, and they'll keep longer. That's a good idea.
Yeah, I've seen several videos where they're wrapping the apples in newspapers, and they put the apples on the flats upside down, so the stem is down. That's one of the.
You can do that with green tomatoes. At the end of the year, you pull the plants out of the garden and wrap each one, only the ones that don't have any blemishes, wrap them in newspaper, put them underneath your bed in a single layer of a cardboard box or a tote, but plastic's not the best. And then you'll have ripe tomatoes ripening through Christmas if you pull them out in October here.
That's one of the things I miss is the old wooden flats that were about that tall, and they were about like that big. Usually you'd have a bunch of the little strawberry baskets in there, or you'd have, I miss those things. Those things were absolutely great.
Yep.
Let's see, looking at the side chat, anything else? Oh, so Canadian Navy wife is in military housing. Yeah, space is precious.
Yeah.
And check out to save some to plant next year too.
Yes.
So, but as far as canning potatoes, we're going to touch actually on the canning portion. Water bath or pressure, or both.
Pressure can.
Yeah. Unless you're Amish, then you spend 4 hours water bathing.
Or if you want to spend 4 hours and get your beautiful facial from the steam, but you got to keep them the jars covered. It's a long process. And then if you were to water bath them, I'm not recommending that, but if you were to water bath them, then you have to cook them when you open them before you taste them, or no ifs, ands, or buts. So you're not going to open them up and immediately put them into potato salad without cooking them thoroughly.
Yeah.
And 5 minutes, higher altitudes longer. So, you're going to have to bring them up to a boil them for 5 minutes, stick them back in your refrigerator if you want to make something like potato salad. If you do it water bath. And I just want to throw that out there because people don't know that, and then they do stupid things.
Yeah.
And win stupid
awards.
Prizes. Yeah.
Yeah. I just want to make sure that we talk actually about canning the potatoes, not just to do it a week before we can.
And you really should blanch them. That helps get some of that starch out to start with. I know a lot of people like to skip that step too, but it is important. It helps get the starch out. You're still going to have a lot of starch in your jars if you have something that like a russet. So you really want to blanch them. It's a quick blanch. It's not a long cook time. And that helps keep them nice in the jars too.
Okay. Oh, let me get my brain going here. All right. Any other ways? What else can we use them for?
I made a German potato salad in the jar and canned it. I'm going to say that's a negative. That was a big nope for our family. We didn't like that.
Probably had to turn to mush.
No, it was still pretty chunky.
Really?
Because I made it with big chunks. I was the one thing my family did like the best was canned French fries. So you make them a little bit bigger than what you want the end result to be, because of course they're going to shrink when you finish pressure canning them. You take them out, blot them dry. Obviously dump the potato starch into something so you can save it. Starch water. Blot the potatoes dry, and either bake them or deep fry them, and they are so yummy. And all the work's done. So it's a quick convenience food.
Now, question. I've always had a question. I've never had anyone do this. When you go to deep fry them, do you season them first, or as soon as they come out, you put the seasoning on?
After they come out, I put the seasoning on and shake them.
Because I saw there was this place in San Andreas, up off of Highway 4 to Highway 12 in California, up in the mountains, and we stopped at this like it wasn't a chain, it was an individual like a mini mart type thing, gas station, everything else, and they had a huge food section where they're serving hot foods and stuff. It's almost to the point of becoming a greasy spoon, but you had nowhere to sit. But it looked like it was pre-seasoned steak wedges, and they would deep fry them. So it looked like it had the seasoning already on them. So I don't know, how they did that. Whether it was a batter actually on it that had the seasoning.
Were they homemade? Were they homemade, or did they open a brown bag they got from?
I don't know. All I know is they bring up the rack from below and drop it in, so it was already in the racks. But
those are bagged. You can get those. Yeah. They're like curly fries already have the seasonings and stuff on. Not all of it, but they got the red coating in that. And
but here's the problem with that is then that's the only thing you can do in that oil. And then,
that's all they were doing in that oil. They had
but at home, I use my deep fryer for quite a while, until I judge the oil to be no longer of good quality, or I have to strain it or do stuff to it. And,
and you make a candle out of it.
Make a I actually make homemade soap out of it.
Yep,
but
there you go.
You can make a candle, but and so I wouldn't be putting the seasoning in, because then I have a lot of work to get that out before I make my soap, or to do the next batch of something. Everything's going to taste
like. Leave the seasoning in for the soap or for the candle. You leave the seasoning, you get that aroma.
Red Robin French fry candle, sure.
Yeah, I mean my house already smells like 100 different cooking things anyway. But
let me get this up here.
I don't think I need old oil.
Come on.
What do you use for deep fry oil, Tammy? Sumi's asking.
Well, my life has suddenly turned upside down. I can't use peanut oil anymore. I'm trying to get away from hydrogenated vegetable oil.
So
I don't know. I don't know what I can't afford that much avocado oil at one time. So I'm like, I don't know what the healthy option is. Mark, they've messed with all my feelings on that. I have too much information to make an informed decision.
Beef lard.
Right.
Ooh, that is very good idea. Very good idea.
I mean, whatever. I can go down all those rabbit holes of why it's better for you than the hydrogenated garbage and the fake stuff, but it tastes great too, and has a lower smoke point. It smokes out at about 350, so you got to keep it a little lower. Takes a little longer to cook, but
that's
still
not
good.
a bad thing.
And my dog is squeaking his ball because I'm talking. Oh my god!
Of course.
Okay, so in about 6-7 minutes or so, Lee at Cold War Prepper. Oh man, I fat thumbed it. I dropped the E off of Prepper. Dropped the R off at the end of Prepper there. But there's the link. I copy pasted the link for him. The topic tonight is Civics 101, U.S. Government, Chapter 19, Foreign and Defense Policy. So that's coming up after us. Let me bring up the schedule here, because I made some changes to the schedule for something I got today. All right, so tomorrow on Gray Man Prepping, the topic is, what is your biggest prepping concern? And hopefully I'll have some helpful information to help ease your concerns and give you ideas of what to deal with your concerns.
Any pros.
froze. Thursday night on Gray Man Prepping is the Midnight Ride, and which is kind of open chat. I cover a bunch of news articles, and I got some doozies that came in today.
Did you get that? Did you get that one I emailed you? It was a link to a YouTube.
Yeah, I saw that.
There's some other laws going on up there too, which I can't make sense out of them, but maybe you can.
There was so much information missing out of that.
That's what I thought. I didn't know. I was like, I read some other stuff going. I may wind up addressing that on Shadow Scout Swede on Saturday, because that's the topic of his, is dealing with limited water. Okay.
All right. So Friday night, this is where I made the change. It was going to be, I was going to talk about Constitution and stuff, because and a little bit in American history and patriotism, because it's Flag Day on Friday. But what came out was a bunch of information here on PFAS contamination in the U.S., mainly in the water sources. And I got
Really?
pardon my French, but I got a butt ugly map showing every place they've done testing on so far, and it's just a, pardon the pun, a drop in the bucket compared to all the water departments out there that they're testing. So that's going to be back here on Camp Patton Family Compound on Friday, is the contaminated water. Saturday on Gray Man Prepping is from Mark. They're coming for your food. Fear porn. And so that's on Friday. Next Monday, we're talking about just canners. Talking about canners, brands, old ones, new ones, electric, gas, water bath. We're talking canners. That's all it is. Just talking about canners. So that's what's coming up there. And so coming up in the future here, a future one here, on Monday the 24th, so in 2 weeks, Tammy is not going to be around.
No, I'm sorry.
You're not going to live stream on your phone from the show? Come on.
No, the show is next week. I am live streaming, and they're live streaming me, but the week that he's talking about, I am camping, and I can't have my phone out around the kids that I'm camping with.
Yeah, the kids are going through electronic device withdrawal.
Yes, and so are all their adults.
Yeah.
We'll be honest.
Yeah, and so that week, Mark, the 24th, freeze drying science, if you will.
That works.
All right, so we'll be talking freeze drying, another variant of food storage other than just canning.
A little more expensive, but definitely worth it.
And I actually got an email last week from
Harvest Right.
Harvest Right on remanufactured and reconditioned freeze dryers they were selling.
Yeah, people get them. The case was damaged in shipping, so there's like dents and gouges in it. They send them back. They may or may not put a new panel on it, or they just sell them cheap because they reject it. But they just test it again. Like, all the equipment inside is nothing wrong. It's just a dent. Like I bought a dryer. It showed up and it had a big old dent in the side. It's a dryer. The guy's like, oh, I don't know. Do you want it? I'm like, yeah. I play the game. Yeah, I guess. Well, we'll see what we can do about it. And they call in. They give me a credit for $300 for a panel that nobody's going to see because it's against the wall. I don't care. It's a dryer.
Exactly.
All right. And Lee just went live just now over there, and there he is showing the American government book. And so,
all right.
Hey,
we'll cut it off now.
Everyone, thank you for coming in side chat. Thank you for all your comments, information. Tammy, Mark, thank you for coming up here and helping out. And hopefully, people share these out, because there's a lot of people out there that don't know about canning, don't know about freeze drying. They really don't understand food preservation, especially the younger generation that's just moving out. Well, supposed to be moving out of the house.
If you have a quick list, email me this schedule of the upcoming stuff.
All right.
That way I know what's coming. Then I'll worry about finding a link. Now I know to look at my spam box for your links. That was the first time that ever happened.
You did mark it not spam, right?
I got to go back. I didn't delete it yet. I got to go in there and do something.
Yeah, so it's still in the spam folder mark, not spam.
Yeah, every other one came into my regular folder, so whatever.
Yeah. All right, everyone. See you around.
Thanks. Good night.
And